Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, LolaAjisafe. Here we are talking about put a ring. Yeah, this is the right finger. Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. If you like, you see something, put a ring on it. Yeah, wherever that's like, put a ring. You know, next episode I'm gonna get you a ring, like little ring. I'm gonna put right here. We're talking about put a ring on it. This is season 3, episode 2. Like, I'm excited by this because last week we had like stuff going on. So. You know, and like I said, when you see, and it's not that we rejoice in dysfunction, but when you see mess and it's televised and there is a therapist there to help us wade through the mess, that means we're going to learn some lessons. And our job is not here, we're not here to mock or look at the people and accuse them and look at them, look down on them or judge them. It sounds like we're judging them, or we're simply breaking it down and analyzing the whole thing. It just means there's a lot to learn. We've got like the bountiful lessons in here. That's the whole aim. Break it down, make it make sense, and see where we can learn from that. But before we start, don't forget to, let's do housekeeping rules. Like the video, please don't forget to like, and second of all, tell me what you think. Like, there's stuff to break down. What you think, you know, any aha moments you have, you know, as we're breaking it down, what you thought that I might not have mentioned, and give me like, I'll be like, I hear you, sis, or bro, like, bro, you might be watching this too. Tell me what you think, and last of all, don't forget to subscribe. You know, so make subscribe to subscribed. All right, let's go into it. So we are coming off onto, we talked about the format. So 3 couples, they go on different dates, and then after the dates, they come back, gather together, and have like a roundtable discussion, so we can analyze and then get the meat of the issue. So we had stopped off last week. They hadn't even finished, but we're breaking down Shay and Alfonso. I'm say Alfonso because I was saying Alonso there, so we're just going Alfie. Let's call him Alfie. So we're talking about Shay and Alfie right now. We haven't finished breaking down Shay and Alfie. We know there's a whole kind of mess here about Alfie. We already talked about it. She goes to decompress. I still said, with all that we've seen, he's doing all these things you don't want. Shay, why are you there? That's my confusion. What are you waiting to see? Goes off, you know, Dr. Nicole is talking about, you know, these certain things that this, you know, we're bringing light to the fact that, you know, your mother doesn't know her. You haven't given her any identity in the relationship. There was an engagement, you're broken up. You have all these pieces kind of floating around. Like, Alfie, what's up? Like, you can see she's hurt by it. Or even his attitude and the way he was behaving. He's like, Tom, but I think he did say, I tried to fix it. All right, stop. I tried to fix it. Let me tell you what I tried to fix it means. Or let me say what it doesn't mean. Either you fixed it or you didn't. I try. Let's do like a little show and tell. I'm holding a pen in one hand. I'm going to try and hold it with the other. Try means I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to do all this. But I'm not, me trying to get this pen into the other hand, it's not going to work because I said try. Now, if I say I'm going to do it, then I've done it. That's what try means to me. So when he talk about, I try to fix it and had the attitude, that right there tells me that you don't want to fix it. And it works for you because you know she's not going anywhere, because if she was going somewhere, then you'd either fix it or you wouldn't, and you'd let her go and be done. But now you just want, it look like you're just wasting her time, and she's allowing her time to be wasted. I mean, we don't have all the facts, but that's what it looked like. Another thing that he brought up, he was talking about, I think in his confessional, like he was like talking about keep your stuff at home, that he didn't think she was going to talk about all of it. All right, Martel 2.0. Let me break something down to you. First of all, you sign up for a reality show. 1. 2, you sign up for a reality show about relationships. How in God's green earth did you think this wouldn't come up, or why it shouldn't come up? Like, she's getting exposure into her life with the hope that she'll get help. She wants help and she wants healing. If you don't want help and healing, that's on you. But anybody in their right mind in this situation should not be lying for you just so you can mess her up when the show's finished. At this point, you need to think about what's the best thing for me. Because you worried about the best thing for you. Like, why is she disclosing all this information? Alfie, like this, we just met, like, but, and this is not working. That's somebody's sister. She will be somebody's mother. She's somebody's daughter. You have children. I want to say you have a daughter, and if you don't, you might. Would you want someone to be messing your daughter around like this? Talk about keep it in at home, keep it on the closed door. You're misbehaving, but you don't want to disclose it. So you know you're misbehaving, you know you're doing wrong, but you don't want anybody else to know. But it's okay, since she's taking it, and this is the example here, people, somebody misbehaving like that, you must have your boundaries. You're not doing them any favors by constantly moving the line, because they will have no respect for you. This guy has no respect for this lady. He know, like, he can literally kill someone and she's gonna sit there talk about, well, you need to do better, like, you're not treating me right. Nah, my G, like Dr. Nicole says something about, you know what, if you can't be a part of the solution to help, like, I'm paraphrasing, like, this is what I took. If you can't be a part of the solution, Sir Alfie, if you can't be a part of the solution to help, then please remove yourself from the equation, because you can't just be there and then watching her squirm, because you're watching this lady suffer, because she's suffering, and you talk about, I tried to, you tried to nothing. You'll be there for 3 years and like, this is, we're talking about this right now, like, don't make me talk about this whole couple the whole day, but yeah, this is just like, yeah, no thinking down. We know there's a mess right here. We've got a low, this is a real, like, peel layer by layer to get things from it, because Shay needs to tell me why she's still there. Like, I keep saying this every week, Shay, why are you still there? We're peeling layers. I'm not saying he's a bad person, but ultimately at this point, think of yourself. Don't go get yourself pregnant and then start talking about the guy is bad, he's not this, he's not that. There's already a mess there. What are you waiting for? Even in the midst, I know sometimes people say face, even in the midst of trying to get repaired, he don't want to be repaired. Like, why are you there? And you've been there 3 years, and it's been going on for 3 years. What's going to change? All right, I'm repeating what I said last week, so let's keep this moving. So anyway, you know, usually on that date, they'll ask them, okay, you know, for the next date that she's going to have, does she want to see Brian, you know, Brian with the cuff pants? You know, I know, and even Alfie know that she don't want that guy. That's not her type. That's not her spec. She like the Rick Ross looking types. So she said, it's, you know, Alfie's turn to go on a date. Alright, so, you know, Alfie getting dressed, he like in a pink, like he's like Cameron. So he went pink, a pink Fendi shirt. Then he dressed, you know, let me put it to you, like, he dressing up like he got the Rick Ross starter kit for, you know, it just got a starter kit. Like, he put this big heavy thing on his neck and some big heavy thing on his wrist. Like, bruh, like, you really trying to tap into this Rick Ross lookalike thing down to the jewelry. But let me tell you something, sir, you ain't him. So you might want to, like, pull it back a little bit. Doing that, it looks to me, when I see him, it strikes me that, I don't want to say that he's insecure, but he feels that the best he has to offer are material things, so he leads with that. Because why are you going on a date with a new person? You know, it's not like you're planning to, you know, leave this woman, or maybe you are, I don't know. But you're going on a date with a new person and you putting in that much effort. Like, he went like 6 tons of jewelry. Like I said, he got like the Rick Ross starter pack. So you dressed up like that, but it's all real loud, gaudy jewelry that to you screams, I've arrived, I have money. So you better pay attention. So one, you want to lead with that. So you want to lead with money, you want to lead with the material things. But if you're doing the same thing, why would you expect different results? So clearly you constantly do this. You always put that foot forward that, okay, you want to attract people because of whatever earnings you have. But they might complain about the quality of person you're getting, so you're having some issue. But it's, you are the common denominator. That's what you're leading with, so that's what you're going to attract. You're not going to attract someone who might be, you might be funny, you might be interesting, you might be smart, you might be all these things. But when you lead with that foot, that's what you're going to attract. Because you walk around talking about you can only attract chicken heads, excuse my French. Well, that's what you're doing. You're putting yourself out there to attract them. You're not going to attract any sensible woman walking around with your Rick Ross starter pack jewelry like, hey, like, you don't look serious to me. Like, if you're walking around in the middle of the day, like, you're not about to go on stage, you're not trying to take some pictures, you're walking around with that kind of jewelry, you don't look serious. Because personally, I don't think a man needs to be walking around that much jewelry anyway. So right there, you're attracting the wrong, you are the common denominator, attracting the wrong kind of people. Not to say that Shay is wrong, but if you have an issue with Shay, some of the issue might be what you led with to attract her in the first place. and then she got attracted to you, and probably, you know, she's expecting you to be different, but she got attracted to a different person but expect you to be different after. That's not gonna work. So in the interim, as he's getting dressed, you know, Shay's feeling some kind of way, like he didn't check in with her after, you know, the round table discussion, see if she was okay. Don't look like this guy wants to connect his mother and shit. Like he's trying to go with the status quo. Like what you people are not going to do on this show is interrupt his flow. He might just be using this as an opportunity to attract more people to him. So when you get ready for his date is somebody called Chantel. Like she says she wants a boss, and she literally described every cross type. So of course they connect her with Alfie. She talked about she wanted a bald head, she wanted to be black, she wanted him to be big. I think she said all these things. She said she's talking about. So she steps out, and I usually don't like to judge people's attire, because what you wear expresses who you are. But with what we have now, let me say what I saw there and say what I think. So she was wearing, like, I think it was a shirt, a regular shirt that and she tied it up, you know, to accentuate her bosom. But the problem here is that she had, I guess she couldn't get like any, you know, sticky tape or whatever. So she was wearing a full bra, like, so you could see the bra. Like, if you're going to commit to that look, you should commit to that look. My good big sis, you know, for me, Desaluvold has a nice, you know, sticky tape line, both the double-sided tape and as well as the pull-up tape. Sis, go get you some, because you showing you like it was nude didn't mean as invisible. Okay, let me repeat myself. You wore a nude bra didn't mean that it was invisible, because I think part of you thought that the bra was invisible because you was just like playing like, what's she doing? Like, yeah, that's me right there. Like, you showing that is an official undergarment and it should remain an undergarment. Yeah, the look was not right, Chantel. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, there could be so many other ways you could have worn it. And I guess the stylists on the show, I guess they don't have stylists on the show. You just come as you are, and that's what you chose to wear. That's what you chose to wear. But I just want to say that nude bra is not invisible. So please, in the future, tie it close to your chest. I don't know. I'm not sure. It was all types of wrong. Comes in, she tries to shake Shay. Shay's doing a little too much. I didn't even know what was going on to step up. So Shay didn't shake her hand. How you meet a stranger, you see him already, your eyes are sparking, and you want to hug him for where he's a stranger. McG and his girlfriend is right there. That's not very respectful. You know, of course, Alfie's not that dumb. He's like, sis, I just met you, I don't know. Follows them out to the car. There's this song and dance and this back and forth. Don't put your arm. Like, she was doing too much. Shay, you are making yourself the weaker person in this position with all this acting. And I'm thinking, and I hope, either by the end of the show you figure out what you're doing wrong so you can fix it with this or with the next relationship, or you see yourself and see how you put yourself in a lower position, in a position of weakness. If you had any power, you removed it. Sis, you're meant to play like this. Play cool. Like, I'll see you. Like, literally, just close the door and leave them. Go read a book or do something interesting. Find something to do. You know, chat with Dr. Nicole or someone. You follow them to the car. You open the door. You're closing the door. You were doing way too much. Like, that make you look weak. And not to say we shouldn't be human, but you sign up for the show, you know what it's about. All that extra makes him feel justified in continuing what he's doing, because why are you fighting for him and he's not even fulfilling your basic needs? From what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding, is not fulfilling your basic needs. And I don't mean, you know, food and shelter, because I think you got that covered. I think that's what I think. Behavior like that, Alfie's not going to change. Alfie's like, yeah, he got you. And there's a point where it got a little contentious between her and the lady at Chantel, and that's the point where Alfie should have just reassured her and said, da 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 da, baby's good. Like, he's watching them, like, literally he was gonna watch them rack. I'm disgusted. Like, Alfie shouldn't have let it get that far. Alfie should not have let you know, Shay lean into the window to say anything. He should have, you know, given her a hug at the garage door and let her go back. Like, her leaning into the car to say anything, like, he shouldn't have allowed an exchange between Shay and Chantel to even start. He's just sitting there looking like Lucas said, enjoying it. That's disgusting. I was a little disgusted both by her behavior and him letting it play out, because you're leaving Chantel, a stranger, open to this kind of dysfunctional mess you guys have going on. That's not fair to the stranger. I'm not even giving Chantel points, but just based on the fact that she's a stranger, she don't need to be exposed to that kind of toxicity. They get to the lunch table. She checking him out. She feeling him. She doing all kind of nonsense. He feeling good because he knows that she likes him. Chantel, you seem a little bit too thirsty. I pull it back a little bit. But you know, he walking around with, you know, 6 pounds of jewelry, so she feel like, you know, one of those could help her with her 2 boys. I don't know, but you lose him how you get him. So sis, don't be trying to get him, because the reason why he's on this whole show anyway. You don't want that. You don't want those kind of problems. I'm just saying, Chantel. So I would keep it moving. All right, with you. All right. So roundtable discussion. So they get back. You know, they start talking. So we're now back talking about the date between Alfie and Chantel. Of course, you know, Shay talking about she didn't like it. We know you didn't like it. You were doing too much. You need to stop. They describe what she was doing. Dr. Nicole was just looking like, sis, you did all that? Ooh, Dr. Nicole feeling like I've got a lot of work to do. She did talk about Chantel's outfit. I can't disagree with that. Like, yeah, you come into... So there is a balance, and you will hear men say that, okay, when you're meeting someone, that you want to show what you're working with, but not il nana, this is what I'm working with. And so if I'm, you know, to explain properly, when I say il nana, if you look at the CD cover or the album cover of Lil Kim's first album, Il Nana, she was in a bikini and she took a squat, like, yeah, I just want you to Google that and look for that. That's like, you don't want to come in like that. You don't want to come with that kind of strength. Like, if I can, I'll insert that picture there. You don't want to come in looking like Il Nana. That's not what we're doing here. You might be able to, you know, accentuate your features, but don't do all that. Like, and I have to agree, Chantel, we're doing a little too much. She could have pulled a little back, but she could have the shirt a little tighter. She could have pulled back, you know, just create some mystery. Because this is somebody's man anyway. Long and short, this is somebody's man. Like I said, how you get him is how you lose him. So sis, you don't want to get somebody like this way on the show. I'm just saying, just be there to provide the distraction for them to work through their issues, but don't go in there think like, ooh, don't do it, please don't do it. It's not gonna work. Like, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be, I mean, yeah, it's gonna, in my opinion, it's gonna be a mess. There are already some issues there. So anyway, they go talking about that. Describes everything, and then he's, you know, Alfie's talking about how she was telling, you know, Chantel to get her arm off the armrest. All this unnecessary conversation. It just boils back to the fact that, you know, of course, Alfie has not made a comfortable relationship. He hasn't made her secure in relationship. She's talking about how, like, you know, she gets a lot of stuff through social media about people approaching him, like all the stuff that might be happening on social media that he allows to happen. And it gets back to her, and she thinks the more she fights, the less it's going to happen. The more she fights, she's just going to tire herself out. Like, either he doesn't do it, and he takes what he understands where you're coming from, and decides to respect your feelings and respect your boundaries and not do what upsets you. Or just be gone, like, you know. But I don't know what else you know. He's looking at everything and still doing what he's doing. So what you're doing is not working. So you continue to do the same thing. Doesn't make a difference. You wilding out and making noise and doing all that. I mean, it's just, it didn't help before. It's not helping now. So why are you still doing it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Shay is doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why things aren't changing. You haven't done anything different to get a different result. So yeah, bottom line, she's not secure in a relationship, but she's still sitting there hoping that things will change for you. I don't remember if Dr. Nicole had anything for you, but just like, what am I going to say to this? Like, I feel like that's what Dr. Nicole is saying. Like, the writing's on the wall. Like, yeah, the writing's on the wall. If you look at my video, my name is right there. That's my name. And what is there to dispute about that? Same thing. The writing. What is there to write? This guy doesn't respect boundaries, doesn't really have much respect for you. He's not putting your feelings into consideration. He's actually quite amused by your little antics. But you're continuing to do that and asking why he's not. If you've had this conversation, it's been back and forth like this for 3 years, what are you hoping is going to be different? And even if you threaten to leave but you don't leave, then he's just going to be amused by every time you come back, I'm leaving. Like, no, because you didn't leave. And what makes you go through all of that and experience all of that and behave like that, but still sit there? That's the question. I'm tired for sure. I'm just watching. All right, so we're going to the second couple now, Otis and Shalonna. Recap, we know that, you know, Shalonna had gone on a date with this dude from Namibia. Meta was his name. And when she came back, he was really rude to her, threw her flowers in the trash can, said she wasn't going to eat, like just some real toxic kind of stuff there. So they're now breaking it down. So the first thing he says, you know, when Shalonna kind of breaks down, well, he threw the flowers, well, he did this, he did that, you know, and Dr. Nicole turns to him, Otis, like, you know, so what do you think about all this? Well, she should have known better. Like, I don't propose violence, but sometimes I hear stuff like that, I want to slap the taste out of his mouth. I'm just talking, I'm not saying I would, but you just want to slap it. Well, she know better. Who are you talking to? You're talking to a child? Do I look like your child? You even talk to an employee like that, you're mad. Just because you're paying a salary don't make me, I won't give you the right to talk to anybody like that. Like, she should know better. Like, anyway, so Dr. Nicole didn't use my response. She used a more, you know, appropriate response. She's like, okay, so what you mean to say is that you want to express how her actions made you feel and what you'd rather. I don't know what he said to that, but it wasn't, yeah. He said what he meant. He meant how he said it, like he just wanted to be rude. And then another comment that really hurt her too was, you know, go take a shower comment, which was mega insulting. You know, implying that she's dirty, she may have done something she shouldn't have done. Just really and I don't want to say there are levels of disrespect, but there are levels of disrespect. But I feel like that level of disrespect means that you know it's not true, but you want to hurt me by disrespecting me like that. Like, if you want to hurt me to draw blood, then why are we together? Why are you with me and why am I with you? If that's because that kind of fighting where you want to draw blood, like you just want to just want to tear you apart. Why are you with me if that's what you want to do? If you want to break me down and tear me apart, why are we together? Because that was the whole essence of the comment. He came up with some real passive aggressive, I'm not going to, you know, stand 10 toes down. Like, I didn't mean what like, I don't even have respect for him not being honest. So he made it up like, no, he was just mean that she'd been, you know, playing soccer and she'd been, you know, on her feet. So she just wanted, and then of course the conversation was getting hot. So he just wanted her to just clean up and just give them time to de-stress. Brad, no, you meant exactly how you said it. How we took it is how you meant it. But now you backing away. Like, I can't respect the fact that you can't even stand in your wrongness and say, yeah, I said that. I shouldn't have, but I did. I can't, like, dude, you're like the 7-foot giant, but you scared. Like, you can't even stand by what you said. Like, you running now because you know how nasty it was. But even though you could have apologized and been truthful, but you couldn't be truthful. So you ain't big and bad after all. Nicole does kind of break down that in the midst of insecurity related to that date is why he tried to exercise dominance over her by doing all the things he did, throwing the flowers away, saying that she wasn't going to go eat, she wasn't going to eat the meal he made for them, telling her to go wash herself, all those things just to beat her down. And that's what happens in some relationships. They start one way, but they now become abusive. How do they become abusive? Because in a way, and that's what I think I said this last week when, I don't know, I probably said this a couple times, not even last week, but sometimes some people, they like to give off, they pretend to give off this, you know, confident air, but they're really insecure. And in order to continue to feed that fake, you know, confidence, they need to put someone down. And so if you're in a relationship with somebody like that, they're constantly batting you down and just to beat you down into submission to give themselves energy. That's sick and that's weak and that's horrible. And sometimes people go into it not seeing it, and then they're like in the midst of it and everybody else can see what's going on. So literally he wants to beat her down into submission, to dominate her, just to bolster himself up. Oh, that's the worst type. He's gaslighting. I really felt like, you know, his taking back a comment, like it was gaslighting, playing it down like he didn't do that, hasn't done that in the past, or doesn't do that. You ask yourself then, what are the essence of relationships? If you have to be in a relationship like this, then why do we want relationships? What do you want a relationship for? If that's what you have to go through. And I know this is just examples of real, you know, toxic, you know, troublesome relationships for us to get lessons from. But the truth is there are people out there that aren't getting this help but are going through this now. But you know, I would ask any of us, oh, we want a relationship, but not like this. So she asked her, you know, which is the typical question. So do you want to see Meta again? I think we discussed this. We met her in her type. And when Meta standing next to Mr. Otis, he looked like Mr. Otis' kid. So that's not her type. Like, I don't know why y'all, you know, not giving her. You're not giving them something to run with. Like, throw some temptation out there. I don't know. You're giving them nice girls, but you're like giving some them guys are just not tempting. That's not tempting. Get one of the guys from Bridgerton or something, you know. Somewhere is gonna make the guy a little nervous. Why? Like the producer picking the guys is not being fair. It's not fair. Pick something interesting. Let the guy make the guy nervous. And make him nervous. Let him see the guy and be like, whoa, whoa, you know. I guess mix things up a little bit. So clearly she wasn't gonna go with Meta again. It's now time for Otis to go on a date. Shalonna is nervous because she knows the person she's with. She's been with him 3 years and she knows how petty he gets. Why are you with somebody like that? So you don't feel safe with this guy. You don't feel treasured by this guy or appreciated by this guy. I mean, there's something you're getting. I'm just not seeing it yet. I know we always have to start with the bad to get to the good, as we're breaking down this relationship. But like some big things here, you don't feel safe enough to be you. Even what he's showing us with cameras rolling is like frightening. So Otis goes on his date with a nice lady called Cherie. She's nice looking, dressed nice. I think it was like a baking day. Like they went to go bake a cake, and this is where we find out that Otis is actually a chef. And so I guess that's something to do with his interest. And so it actually seemed like a good idea because as they were doing it, they actually had time to talk, actually get to know each other, like a back and forth, and they actually got a good sense of each other on the date. So that's probably not a bad idea to do something, because you want to do an activity but you want to also be able to talk the activity but not make it uncomfortable. You're just like, what's your name? Like, yeah, you're not doing that. And it was like a nice flow. It definitely had a nice flow. It comes home, brings the cake home, the flowers shoved in the middle. I don't know if that was like like a hint, like trying to play on what happened before. We don't know. But one thing he said that was cute didn't need to be set for him to be Kenneth and Shorty. So leading back from their prior date last week where Shorty met up with Hollywood, she says that things just seemed so easy, such an easy flow of conversation with Hollywood, as opposed to her relationship, and she was able to open up so quick with a stranger. And you know what? That can happen. I mean, people will tell you it's easy to open with a stranger because that baggage from a relationship is not there, and the whole prearranged judgment is not there. So that doesn't really prove much to me. You meet a nice stranger, you can open up and tell a stranger a lot. But somebody you already have already a dynamic with, it's harder to, when there's stuff under the carpet already, there's all that. So usually in a relationship, there's all this mess and stuff and baggage between the two of you. So of course there's going to be some kind of kink in your communication. But then she goes on to say that the lack of communication is not on her side. Ma'am, I would like to disagree with you, because if you are interacting with him in a certain way, making him feel emasculated or making him feel less than a man, or telling him that he's not a man or he's not husband material, then he's going to be closed off and not be able to be vulnerable and won't feel open to communicating with you. So I dare to say and disagree with you that you do play a part in that lack of communication, because you're coming at him kind of crazy, then he's gonna pull back. He's not gonna come swinging. Now if you were a dude, he might do that, but you're a woman and you're his woman, so he's just gonna pull back. She recognizes that she's been running her mouth at him. So ma'am, that what's running the mouth at him is definitely what could be making him pull back, because what he doesn't want to do is keep going at this with you. So he's just going to go away, and when you're going to suddenly stop talking, and then you're going to stop. So that's how he gets you not to nag him all the time, by not communicating with you. So you have a great part to play. And it's the big thing when you see relationships that kind of roll like that, there's always this tendency for the other person to say, well, it's their fault and it's that. No, when you have two adults, now if you're a 40-year-old with a 5-year-old, that's a different dynamic. But if you have two adults in a consensual relationship, when something is not right, you can't just put it on that one person. Because even if this person is doing this to you, you are allowing yourself to stay here for someone to do this. If you remove yourself, the person can't do that. So even if you're there just by default of allowing it to happen, because we show people how to treat us. We give them permission to do what they do. If we take away that permission, they can't do that to us. And so essentially, that's, even at the very least, that's what you're doing. So that's what I see with that. So when I heard that, even before I started thinking, I'm like, that don't even sound right. Like, oh, it's not because of me that we don't communicate. It is very much because of you, because the way you communicate is literally always trying to beat him down. So he's gonna, I'm about to go work facing him, so he's not innocent in this too. We're going to talk about him right now, but just to finish it up, it's like, so ma'am, yes, you do play a part in this poor communication. All right, so let's go to this guy. That after the date, he, you know, maybe a day later, that day, he took a phone, was going through it, and he was in a bathroom for hours going through the phone. If that's not like, I don't want to use the term weak, but I want to use weak. Like, bruh, you that insecure. But we talked about this before. The fact that you take that emasculation, wake up the next morning and still stay with it and say, I want to be with you, means that something happened in your past. Something's going on that thinks that you should take that. And you taking her phone to go sit down and look at it. You think something's wrong going on? Ask her. Like, if you have to do that, then maybe you don't need to be there. That's what I'm just saying. I can say that just based on observation. But yeah, if you have to go through all that, go through someone's phone like that, don't they pick on women for doing that and you're doing that? So you'll give you the same smoke they give women. Like, really? You're going to revert to that, going through her phone? Like, you can't face them, you know, and stand and say, what's up? Yeah, take her phone. When we heard, so definitely we know this, there's no question about his insecurity. We all have insecurities, but his insecurities are singing. They're not just chilling or hiding, they're singing out like, help me, help me. And so, you know, Dr. Nicole asked him, like, you know, bro, like, what's that about? And he did say something which was kind of like, it was just like, I was overwhelmed. You know, he saw Hollywood, he felt less than, and yeah, there's a lot going on there that needs to be broken down. And so, you know, and I think the fact that he was able to see himself, he's able to reflect appropriately after the fact, because he didn't reflect then and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. After the fact, he's able to reflect and say, and sometimes that happens, do all kind of wrong, and then after the fact, like 3 days later, come with flowers and, you know, say what you know you did wrong. But then 2 weeks from now, you do the same thing, and that pattern too is like a toxic pattern. That's not going to work. But now to talk about his own, because you know how to say something when it will say that he too has his own, Nigerians say. So they finished, you know, they leave, I think when they finish the roundtable discussion and they go back into the car. Let's quickly go back to this. So Shorty kind of concludes that she feels like, you know, Kenneth is not positive. They ask her, would you like to see Hollywood again? Of course she's going to see Hollywood again. That's like a no-brainer. So she's going to see Hollywood again, and she just kind of caps up with it. Just feels like, you know, he's a little negative in all what he does. And then so they get into the car, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, Kenneth wants to turn the tables on her. So do you want to be with me or not, kind of question. She's like, my G, like, stop playing. Like, we're going through this process for a reason, so all of a sudden you want to terminate the process, but I don't want to be with you or not. Nah, what you're not going to do is this. Then she's like, you know, requesting her phone. Apparently it turns out that Kenneth, when he was going through her phone, he had taken pictures of financial information. Disgusting. I'm disgusted. Like, bruh, like, you real, like, that's bottom barrel kind of behavior. Taken pictures of her financial info and sent himself the information, either email or text himself the information. Yuck. Like, you both have issues and you both need to break up right now and go heal in separate corners of the room, separate corners of the world. Like, you guys, you live together? No, don't live together. Scatter right now. I'm not even debating this with you. Like, if you have to go to that level, I'm sorry, there's no kind of conversation to have right now. And she even acknowledges that he has this kind of energy. Well, if I can't have you, then nobody else will. What? You're going to wait till they stab you in the chest, and at the 4th strike, you're going to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here? Going to that, you're not married? Sis, you better run. He's taking every copies of your financial info. What, you're going to wait for him to empty your account because he's trying to punish you? And then she goes on to tell us more. That, you know, sometimes when things go wrong between them, he'll try and sabotage her. That in the past, when they've had arguments, he's gone to her jobs, not even IG, social media, she didn't say what it was, their social media account, and spammed with negative comments about her. I'm sorry, what are you looking for again here? So, you know, at this point, she even acknowledged, she goes further. That's almost like, it's not even that he wants her. Like, what he wants is it that he just wants to scare her into staying with him, that she's only staying with him just because she's scared of the outcome if she tries to break up with him. So you see this, you've acknowledged this, I've seen this, but you're still here, still there talking about he's no husband material. Sis, please run now. and anybody sees him, please make sure you're going to go and heal, because this is a mess waiting to happen. Who does that? Yeah, I'm sorry. He's got work to do. He's got to work through ASAP. Anyway, so it's his turn to go on a date. You know, some nice lady, Shemaya, who's cute. You know, you can see he thinks, and that's almost like a dangerous kind of toxic feature. Like he's a think on the date. He's not focused because he's worried about what happened, what he did. But the thing is, it's not the first time he's done something like that. So he has a pattern of offending, doing what he's done. Then after the fact, he will have remorse. That doesn't mean anything. Like if you keep doing it, the remorse after a while means nothing. You come back to say I'm sorry and all manners of saying I'm sorry. I don't care. If that behavior is being repeated different ways, there's a problem. So you sitting down completely disconnected and just distracted on the date you're meant to be on means you're not even going through the process. Dr. Nicole, I think you need to advise them to scatter right now. I know that's not what you're going to do, but yo, like the two of them have serious issues. Because before last week I was talking about, so looking at this lady emasculate this man, but this guy, he got problems too. Like he's the one who go tick tick boom, because he's not talking, then he'll do something real foul. Copies of her financial records, spamming her work's social media account. Yeah, there needs to be a separation. Even if you're going to be together, separate. This guy needs work to do. She's got work to do. Yeah, and you know, of course, we reached the end of this episode, but look, these couples are a mess, but like I said, it's an opportunity for great lessons. Because honestly, yeah, I don't think I've felt this strongly about other couples in the past. Honestly, I don't think I have. Like it will take a while, but just up front, off the cuff, off the riff, it's like these people don't need to be together. I'm not thinking, because then you might be one naughty couple. So I said naughty, one naughty couple, one part of one naughty couple, all three couples. I mess, and I honestly, I don't know how to place them, but I trust Dr. Nicole. There are going to be lessons to be learned. Guys, end of the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh, looking forward to next week. And don't forget, once again, there's going to be the after show on the OWN network YouTube channel. It's going to be Kofi no Kojo. I'm kidding. And my good sis Crystal, I believe it's 2 or 3 p.m. EST. All right, guys, take care. Lola, over and out.